Have you ever read The Magic by Rhonda Byrne? You may have definitely heard of her other book, The Secret. That was the book that came out in the mid-90s and taught us for the first time, a lot of us, about the law of attraction and how our thoughts create energy and we attract back what we think about, and all of that opened up a lot of us to the law of attraction. And then in 2012, she brought out this book called The Magic. Now, back in 2012, when I first got my hands on this book, I was reading it, and my son, who was 12 at the time, he'd already read The Secret. He was already a manifesting machine. That's the thing about kids, is like, if they do believe in it, they really believe in it. And that is why they can manifest things so well, because they don't have the blocks that we do. They don't have the resistances. They don't have that little voice in their head saying, yeah, but what if it isn't true? What if it's a bunch of BS, you know? Little kids believe in all kinds of things, and so why can't they believe in the law of attraction? And then when they really believe in it, they manifest so much. So if you've got young kids, get them into this now. My son decided to do the exercise, which is in here. There's a chapter on how to manifest money, and there's the magic check exercise. So you photocopy this and you write out a check to the gratitude bank of the universe for any amount you want. And then there's a little exercise of what you do in order to manifest this money. Well, my son was all up for it. So we photocopied the blank check for him, and he filled out his amount. I'm going to show you, I've photocopied something here. I'm going to show you the top half of it. So we were living in Spain at the time, so the amount that he put was in euros, and my 12-year-old son decided that the amount that he wanted to manifest from the universe was 350 pounds. So he wrote his check out to the euros. He wrote his check out to the universe for 350 euros, and he did what they tell you to do. He kept it on his bedside table, and before he would go to bed every night, he would look at it and he would say, thank you, thank you, thank you for the money. And whether he did that or whether, maybe he kept it on his bedside table and looked at it every day. And I know that he did believe that he was going to get that money. And I remember he spilled water on it at some point, and it got, manky, and it ended up going up on his bulletin board. This kind of wrinkled check went up on his bulletin board, and he continued to glance up at it as he was doing homework. So fast forward 2 years later, and that's the other thing about kids, they don't necessarily become super impatient. I mean, my son didn't. You've got to trust that the universe is going to bring it to you when is the right time, and not get so caught up in the when is it going to happen. You just have to trust and believe. So he did that. Now, fast forward, it's 2 years later, 2014, and he has won a national award. And at school, he's gotten to go on stage because he won the first leg of it at his school. It was a leadership award. And then he went on to the national competition. And because he was going to an American school in Madrid, it was a national competition of all American schools in Europe, I believe. And he ended up winning this award and was presented, I'm pretty sure he was presented on stage with one of those fake checks, the big one that they give you before they give you the real one. I'm pretty sure, I have to now look in the photos and see if I'm making that up. I'm pretty sure he was given a fake check with it brought on stage. And the amount, well, I'll show you, because then the real check came in the post. This lower one is the real check. And it came for, it was $500 was the big fake check. And then they converted it into euros because we were living in Spain, and it was converted into 369 euros. Okay? So he'd asked for 350, and 2 years later he got 369. I mean, it's just, and he's never received a check in his life, either before or after, I don't think. Who writes checks? And he got an actual check. So, this really sealed the deal for him. He's gone on, he's at university now, and he's a manifesting machine. Whenever he wants something, he just gets it. A lot like his mother, because I am a lot like that too. So I just wanted to give you a little inspiration. If you're reading The Magic and you get to that magic check, here's what you could do. Write an amount that you believe is possible. So rather than writing down 2 million, if you're really not believing it's going to be possible, if that feels too far-fetched for you, then write down 50, or write down 100, or write down an amount that feels possible to you, that you could receive that amount without having to work for it, and just to receive a kind of bonus amount. and write down whatever energetically feels like it could be possible for you, and then do what it says in the book to do. Give gratitude in advance for it and believe it's going to happen, and look at it regularly. Now, I will say that I wrote out a check back at the same time that he did. Don't know what happened to it. I'm going to have to go through, maybe it's in my bedside table drawer. I'm going to have to go through and try to find it, because clearly I didn't follow through the way that my son did. And I don't even remember what the amount was or anything. And maybe I've even manifested that amount by now, because I've won various competitions and money and things like that. So I'm going to see what that amount was that I wrote. I got to find that check back. But I'm going to write a new check out now, because I'm feeling super in alignment with the universe, and I know that anything is possible. I really know that. I've manifested a lot of money over these past 2 years. So I'm going to write out my magic check again. Now, over in my Project We membership community, we are reading the magic this month and doing the 28 days of exercises. Every month you do a little written exercise or something fun like the magic check. And if you want to join in, join Project We. I'm going to put a link to it under this video, and we're talking about it and everyone's checking in. I will say I was going to do it again, and I have decided, since I've done this so many times and my manifesting powers have moved to higher levels of conscious living, I found another book that I'm doing simultaneously at the same time as the others are doing this one, and it does involve me doing a written exercise every day. Mine's for 21 days, and I'll be talking about that after I've done it. I'm going to process that a bit and see what's come from that before I start talking about that. So the magic check, I want to hear from you if you're going to do it or not, and if you have done it, how it's worked for you. Okay, happy manifesting.